You're connected to Business Wrap. Find us online at businesswrap.biz, on Twitter using handle AskBizWrap, and on Facebook, just search Business Wrap. And now, Michigan Reimagined with Chris Buck.
You know, each year the Michigan Celebrates Small Business Organization, or MCSB, publishes their Michigan Top 50 Companies to Watch. Ngage Management of Okemos was selected for one of these coveted positions from a statewide pool of candidates. Ngage CEO Tobi Lyon is clearly on a roll, as she was selected back in 2010 as a Chamber of Commerce 10 over the next 10. Is Lyon. I'm sorry. Gosh, sorry about that. Yes, I knew that.
Okay, sorry.
What did I say?
Lynn.
It's absolutely Lyon, and I knew that. But she is the CEO of Ngage Management in Okemos, and she's going to discuss what makes Ngage a special small business to work in. Welcome, Tobi.
Thank you. Most people think I'm going to get my first name wrong and think I'm going to be a male, but now, Chris, now whatever I say, I'm great with.
Good on, right on. Yes,
my mistakes will look great.
Right on. First time on the radio with me, and this is a great way to break the ice by having me stick my tongue in it. So I appreciate you.
I like it.
Right on. Well, before we get into your Rhythmic Awards and seeing what's up for the next decade, I want to hear a little bit first about Ngage Management. So what does your firm do exactly?
We're an association management company. So we manage nonprofits, societies, but mainly all professional membership associations from top bottom. They come to us and hire us and all of our staffing needs. So we have the executive director, board governance. We do strategic planning. We do membership growth, finances for the association, and events. Associations come to us and we just do events, large trade shows, small educational, and now virtual conferencing that we're getting into.
No kidding. Yeah, it's the sign of the times, isn't it?
Exactly. So we are top to bottom, but we really truly take nonprofits and make them profitable. We've grown membership, conference, trade shows, sponsorships, non-dues revenue. Our average clients have been with us for now 7 years, and they're 100% retention still. So it's been great.
Fantastic. Good for you. Now, that's kind of a fringe career to get yourself into. What was the origin of deciding to get into associations?
Everything has a path, and we think we map it all out. I'm very strategic and think of where my career is going to go. I was working for an attorney general that was running for governor in the state of South Dakota. And in South Dakota, there's kind of one party. So the primary is pretty much when the elections get decided. And he was the top candidate. He recruited me to come in and do fundraising, but really to be his health policy advisor. Healthcare administration is my background and my education. And we lost. We lost to, there was 3 in that race, and the third person that only raised $35,000, they got tired of the negative, and we lost. So I learned very quickly where my career was not going, and that wasn't to the governor's office.
Okay.
And in a long story short, I met somebody that was a president of a pharmacy association in South Dakota, and said, "Hey, I got a job for you. You're young, you're driven. Come work for me." I knew nothing about associations. I had no clue. I had a wheelie briefcase and knew how to wear a suit. That's it in my young 20s.
Right.
I was ambitious, and unfortunately, it was a small association that could only pay a little bit. And so I started finding other little associations, and I started my first association management company and sold it at 29. Got recruited to do fundraising. I went to a lot of hospitals, different systems across the country, from Iowa to Wyoming, and moved here in 2008 from the state of Wyoming to work for a hospital doing fundraising, to come for 2 years. What most people don't know is I worked full-time, and on the side, I had my fun job, I called it, but I kept several clients, and I was doing consulting for associations. I would take vacation time, they would call me, and I would go, and I would talk to them about operations, streamlining processes. Where I found myself is not having a work-life balance.
Yes.
I was probably working 80 hours, 90 hours, and not being successful in any direction, but yet it was filled me. I was very passionate. And so I then started this Ngage Management 7 years ago. I decided to give it my all and take that risk and do it, and started on my home office and virtual then. And everybody's like, "What are you doing? You don't even know about it?" Because I was here in Michigan, where I was a no name in the association world. But on the back end, I was all across the country. So American Nurses Association, I have been with them now for 21 years. I've managed multiple different states for them, and we currently have 5 of their associations. So our clientele is not just Michigan state associations, which we have and love to have more,
right?
But we have national, and then we have other state associations that we have made home here in Michigan.
Wow. All right. So it's only Ngage as a company has been only 7 years, but it's a longer history than that.
Yes, we started 7 years. I think, we don't always know where our career path is going to necessarily take us. Mm-hmm. And I grew up on a ranch in South Dakota, and my family always taught me just to work hard and keep going with what you want to do. And sometimes I think we want to try to do something else than what really our passion is. And I kept following my passion, and it's paid off. It's scary where I sit. I mean, I think it's very surreal. I look around and I'm like, kind of pinch myself because I went through a lot. Like, you're going to be you're small, like you're in your home. Do you really know anything about it? And start breaking in. And now we are the largest association management company in the state of Michigan. And we compete now with the Chicago market, the DC market. And that's really great, to make Michigan more headquarters for national associations or other state associations that are from another state.
So in 7 short years, you've earned this dubious distinction of being one of the top 50 companies to watch in Michigan, which is a very deep pool of companies that are really on the move. And to make that is a big deal. You were cited as saying that you owe your success to the community and the creative, dynamic team behind you. Share with me a little bit more about what makes that resonate with you.
Success is never a one-person show. It is a full team. Coming to Michigan, I knew nothing about Michigan, and being recruited, they're like, come. I came. I fell in love with this community in Lansing. I dove right into several different things. It became home. And I was at my time in my younger 30s, mid-30s, that I wanted to curate. I was done moving. I was done following a career. And when my job at Sparrow ended, I wanted to figure out where to go. Well, I had networked so well and knowing so many different people. They embraced me. They made it become my family. I always say the Lansing Rotary Club, all of those people in that club braced themselves around me and said, hey, we're going to, make this your home. Met a boy, stayed, put some roots down. Boy, did not work out, but I ended up with more roots. And so I say to myself, like, I miss my family, but I have so many family here that it sometimes makes it easier that I'm away from everybody that I've known, been around, and yet now I feel like Michigan is home. This is where I'm going to be and want to be, and I enjoy it. And so I owe everything to the community, the people I met, the people that gave me advice, mainly the people that gave me the free advice that I never asked for. Not always the best, but that also motivated me very well. I have been very blessed to hire the best of the best. One of the things that sets us apart is most association management companies will hire startup staff members that might not be experts. They will hire because it's cheaper. I mean, we get a flat fee. We get a flat fee, so do it as cheap as you can to put it in the owner's pocket. My staff will tell you that's not how I work. I am all from the grassroots up, and the best service that does, I can sell all day and bring them in, but it's a delivery. I have hired truly the best of the best. They are loyal, they're talented, they're innovative, and they are driven. Everybody in our group is very creative. We have an innovation hub, and I don't care what your role is or what you do, but you play a very critical role. And I tell people we're a family, and one person told me when they came in, they're like, a work family? Yeah, I don't like that term. I'm just coming in and doing my job. Has later told us we have built a culture of a family that's truly dedicated. And so I say, the success, while I might have had the vision and took the risk, we're not a success without that team that's behind.
Right.
And they're really not behind. They're in the forefront.
Well, I think you're hitting on a lot of the things that are going to be your answer to this next question. So for the audience members who don't know this 50 companies to watch, kind of tell us about the award. What is the criteria to qualify, the process of getting chosen? Because you're explaining all the things that probably made you win, right? That kind of leadership stance. But explain about the process of getting nominated, or how do you win this award?
So I don't know all who I got nominated, but I've been told that it has to be past winners and tends to get nominated.
Okay.
So I completed it when I got notified to nominate, and I looked at it and I'm like, there is no way. Nobody in our industry has ever won. You look at techs, manufacturers, maybe PR marketing, but not ones that work for nonprofit. And you can't be a nonprofit. You have to be a for-profit.
Right.
You have to be had in business for a while and show substantial growth with revenue and financially sound, and you're kind of out of the startup stage. I'm looking through it and I'm like, there's no way the little things that we do will be. And so I completed it, said my financials and sent all of that in. And then I got the first notification, oh, you made it through the first round. I'm like, okay. And then I'll never forget, I was actually at a small business networking at Bogie Tower.
Okay.
And Rob Fowler from SBAM came over and said, I need to let you know that you're one of the winners. And you're going to get, and the email was in my inbox, but I did not know it. I hadn't seen it at the time. And I looked at him and I started crying. It was very surreal. I said, that's for somebody that's big, that's going, we're like this unknown. And he's like, do you realize how substantial growth you've had and the revenue that you've generated and the economic development that you've done here? I really was in shock. I still am in shock because that's not where I would have ever seen myself or our company or being able to deliver. And now it just makes me want to do more and take it to the next level.
Very nice. Okay. So is there going to be a celebration? Obviously, we're in the middle of the pandemic. This recording is the end of July of 2020. So what are they saying about the event? Because I've seen the ceremonies before.
Yes. Well, I have too. I have taken people there. I've had a table, right? Not ever thinking about being on stage. We were notified in March, and the big celebration was supposed to be in May. Okay. Clearly at the Breslin Center. And I knew on stage, gala, formal, all this stuff. Well, something happened in our world that we were no longer going to be gathering with 2,000 people at the Breslin Center. So they've had us put it on hold. And so we've known since March. And so June, they started making it public. July 28th, they're doing a virtual award celebration, which is playing a video and doing all that. And they keep saying, well, our time on stage will be next year. And I'm fine with that. That's not what it's about, is the time on stage. Right. And so we're having a virtual celebration. July 28th, people gathered in my backyard and we did a great party. All my close friends, some family that could make it, and then the staff and our clients that did it. And yes, we're doing the proper safety protocol and doing the distance, but we decided to have a watch party to watch us and gather and celebrate. So that's what they're doing.
That's great. So what kind of advice do you have for the other small business owners out there? You've touched on a lot of things that I think make a successful business, the humility and lead with the people and hire great talent and don't go cheap. But anything else that you learned? You talked about advice that you didn't ask for, but you got. Can you remember anything that really resonates with you that someone who says, I want to be that?
Not being your worst critic and being scared to take a risk, and fear. Like if you let fear paralyze you, and it's happened, and don't be afraid of failure. I've had some big failures, public failures, and I think about how I've overcome and how much better it was and what doors it really opened. And there's always something positive behind everything, but also being creative. When the market changes like it has, you have to adapt and you have to figure out how to be next creative. If you keep staying in a box, it's not going to help. Listen to every advice, even the ones that just want to tell you what you don't ask for. Yep. But listen to it. It all can play into it. It's also believing in yourself. And I have to tell you, that's something that I've struggled with a long time, is knowing that I'm capable of doing this. I think that's why it's also surreal, because it's supposed to be somebody else, not myself. But I will tell you, it's hard work. There's a lot of sacrifices that go with it. And I've seen that. And I just got to keep going and plugging through.
Excellent. Yes, you do. And I think you will.
Thank you.
So with the few minutes that we've got left here, where does Ngage Management go from here?
I just purchased a Washington, D.C. office and location, so another association. So we now are going through that. So yes, in the middle of all of this crisis, I have created new positions, onboarded clients, and was also halfway through a merger and acquisition of buying another firm. So nothing like, let's just bite it all off at once.
Right, sure.
So we just launched that, and we're bringing those clientele in. And so that's our next move. Our next one is to foster more Michigan business. I really want to not have to be going to some other states to foster business. So we really want to take the ownership of the Michigan market more and grow that direction. The next thing is technology. We have invested and worked with some different partnerships to create some online platforms that we're going to the market right now, and we're testing them. So I think that's what's next, is trying to stay innovative, trying to go with the flow, and make sure that we are adapting.
Well, before we wrap up, can you share with everyone how they can get in touch with Ngage Management?
Yes, it's Engage with an N. It's a play on words. NGAGELLC.com. We're on all platforms of social media, LinkedIn. Honestly, with the name Tobi Lyon, TOBILYON, Chris.
Yep.
You can find me very much with a Google search and reach out to us.
Very nice. We've been speaking with Tobi Lyon, a Michigan Top 50 Companies to Watch recipient. Congratulations. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Chris, for having me.